Detective Emily Wilson had been working on a sting operation for months, targeting a notorious photographer who had been accused of sexual misconduct by multiple models. The latest victim had come forward, sharing a harrowing story of how the photographer, Jack Harris, had undressed her without her consent during a photo shoot. Emily knew she had to act fast, and the best way to catch Harris was to go undercover. Emily, a stunning woman in her mid-30s, had always been interested in photography. She had even modeled part-time before joining the police force. She knew the industry like the back of her hand, which made her the perfect candidate for the job. She created a fake portfolio, highlighting her modeling experience, and sent it to Harris's studio. Within days, Emily received a call from Harris himself, offering her a photo shoot for a prestigious fashion magazine. Emily played the part of a naive and excited model, agreeing to meet him at his studio the following day. The next morning, Emily arrived at the studio, dressed in a revealing outfit, as instructed by Harris. She was greeted by Harris, a tall, lean man in his late 40s, with a charming smile. He showed her to the dressing room where she changed into the first outfit, a skimpy lingerie set. As the photo shoot began, Emily couldn't help but notice Harris's roaming eyes. He was constantly adjusting her poses, touching her arms and legs, under the guise of getting the perfect shot. Emily played along, pretending to be uncomfortable but not wanting to ruin the shoot. After a few hours, Harris suggested they take a break and move on to the next outfit. Emily agreed, and as she changed into a provocative bikini, Harris accidentally walked into the dressing room, claiming he needed to grab a prop. Emily's heart raced as he approached her, his eyes fixed on her body. "Let me just adjust that for you," he said, his hands brushing against her skin as he fixed the bikini. Emily knew this was it. She had been waiting for this moment. She smiled sweetly, playing the part of the naive model, and asked him to help her with the zipper. As Harris obliged, Emily subtly pressed the record button on her smartwatch, capturing every word, every touch. With the zipper undone, Harris's hands began to roam, accidentally grazing her breasts. Emily's anger simmered beneath the surface, but she remained calm, knowing she had to see this through. "I think we've got everything we need for today," Harris said, his voice dripping with malice. "Why don't we take a little break, and I'll show you some of the shots we've got so far." Emily nodded, her heart pounding in her chest. She knew what was coming next. Harris led her to a private room in the back of the studio, where he began to fondle her, his hands moving under the pretense of getting comfortable. That's when Emily made her move. She grabbed Harris's wrists, her grip like a vice. "You're under arrest, Jack Harris, for sexual molestation and assault." Harris's eyes widened in shock as Emily produced her badge and handcuffs from her bag. She read him his rights, her voice firm and authoritative. The studio was soon swarming with police officers responding to Emily's distress call. Harris was taken away, still protesting his innocence. The investigation that followed revealed a pattern of abuse, with multiple models coming forward to share their own harrowing experiences with Harris. The evidence collected from Emily's smartwatch and the studio's security cameras was damning, and Harris was eventually charged with multiple counts of sexual assault. As Emily testified in court, she couldn't help but think of the countless women who had suffered at Harris's hands. She was proud to have brought him to justice, and she knew that her bravery had given others the courage to come forward. The verdict was guilty, and Harris was sentenced to several years in prison. Emily's sting operation had been a success, and she had single-handedly brought a predator to justice. In the months that followed, Emily became a hero in the eyes of the public. Her bravery inspired others to speak out against abuse, and her story sparked a national conversation about consent and boundaries. Emily knew that her work was far from over, but she was proud to have made a difference. As she walked out of the courtroom, she felt a sense of pride and satisfaction, knowing that she had protected countless women from suffering the same fate as Harris's victims. The experience had also changed Emily's perspective on her own career. She realized that she didn't have to choose between being a model and a police officer. She could use her unique skills to make a difference in the world. And so she continued to work undercover, using her modeling experience to catch predators and bring them to justice.
Please subscribe to my channel Lessons of Life and press the bell notification icon.